Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, ladies and gents, and welcome back to Men of Raw Assault Squad 2. So this is going to be a bit of a different video from what I usually put up on my channel, but for those of you that don't know, I am the moderator and also the historical advisor on a Men of War Assault Squad 2 workshop mod known as CModded. Now, unfortunately, this mod isn't the most straightforward thing anymore in the world to operate and use. It used to be a lot easier to use, however, various game changes and things that have happened to the game, and things that the devs have done, lovely, have made it harder, to say the least. So, yeah, this isn't going to be for everyone. I'm going to be posting this directly to the comment section of the Men of War Assault Squad 2 mod in the Steam Workshop, so the majority of the people on my channel won't be interested in this at all. Don't worry, this video will be accompanied by my Astroneer video that was supposed to go up on the weekend, half an hour later. So, if this video isn't for you, then don't worry. But if this video is for you, then I'm going to go through pretty much every single thing that the mod does and how to use it properly. So the first thing you want to do is obviously activate the mod. Now, I know a lot of people know how to do this, but some people still don't, which is absolutely fair enough. You know, there's people still getting into this game. So what you want to do on the main menu, go and press options, and it will bring up this window with these tabs. You want to press on the mods tab, and then you want to find CModded in your left hand menu of deactivated mods. I've got absolutely tons of mods because I'm subscribed to ridiculous amounts of stuff on the Steam Workshop. You want to press this little arrow to push it across to the activated column and just press apply. While you're waiting for it to apply mods, have a look down here in the bottom left hand of the screen and you will see CModded pop up if it activates properly. Which, there you go. You have CModded, the version, and Steam next to it if it activates properly. If it isn't there, simply go to Steam Workshop, unsubscribe from it and resubscribe so that it re-downloads the mod, and that should sort out that problem. So the next thing we're going to look at is what missions you can actually play with this mod. Now, first of all, this mod does not work online, okay? Even if both players are in a private match and you've both got CModded running, it does not work online because it requires a mission file to function, which I will explain later on in the video. But it does not work online, and it also does not work in skirmish. It only works with missions. So when you activate CModded, you will get, in addition to the standard campaign, you will also get these three sets of missions. Now, currently, these work for some people and they don't work for other people. I have no idea why they work for some people and don't work for other people, but it just seems to be the way it is. These three sections of missions are actually from the various DLC, so if you don't have the DLC, it definitely won't work. But even if you do have the DLC, it's not guaranteed to work. However, if you simply go and start a mission on any of the campaigns, then it will work for you. So the next thing we're going to look at, which is a question I get all the time in the Steam comment section on the workshop. Absolutely tons and tons of people ask how to do it, and I try to explain the best way I can, but it's a lot easier just to show you. So what it is being able to add CModded to custom missions, okay? Now, this doesn't matter whether it's missions you've downloaded from the internet, whether it's missions you've downloaded from the workshop itself, or whether it's missions that you've actually made in the editor. You can also do that. So first of all, you have to come to your mods folder in Men of Raw Assault Squad, and the way to do that is on your Steam page, right click it, properties, local files, browse local files, and it will bring up this folder. You then simply want to go to your mods folder and find your selective mod or mission you are trying to activate. Now, as I said before, have quite a lot of stuff in this folder. So I will choose a very simple one. We will go for the first Panther Mod, which is a custom mission pack within the workshop that you can download. I believe it's still up on the workshop. So you want to go into the mod and it will have a number of files. So first of all, you want to go to your resource folder, open that, go to the map folder, open that, go to the single folder, open that, and then it will either have mission 1 or the name of missions, or it will have an extended folder tree. We just keep on going until it gets to the set of missions. Now, this is the set of missions. Some mods will come like this, and then when you open the resource folder, they will have WinRAR files or 7-zip files or compressed folder files within these folders. All you have to do is simply extract those files from the compressed folders or from the 7-zip or WinRAR, whatever they're in, extract them to the folder that they're in now, and then you must delete the compressed folder or the WinRAR 7-zip. It's very important. You must delete that, because if you don't, regardless of the fact that you've extracted the data from the compressed files, the map will still run off of the data that's within the compressed files. So after you've extracted them, you must delete them. So what you want to do is find the mission or missions you want to do. I've had times before where I've had 40 plus notepads open just doing this all the same time. Now, this mission file, it won't show up as a notepad at first. You want to right click on it, properties, change, and it probably won't be here, so you'll go more options, and then your notepad will be somewhere down here. Just click notepad and then apply, and it will show up as a notepad file. If you want to open it, go right down to the bottom, and this is very, very important. It must be before this last bracket. If it is after this last bracket, it won't work, because that's where the mission code ends. So if it's after that last bracket, it won't work. Rule of thumb, I usually put it on the second to last bracket, or after when it sometimes says fog here. I usually put it here. So what you want to write here is open bracket, include, space, /, map, / cheats mod, and a lot of people just put cheats mod. It won't work like that. You have to have the S. It has to be cheats mod / cheats .mi, and then close the bracket, and then all you have to do is go file and save. That's all you have to do. Now I will load up this mission in the game without this line of text in, and I'll load it up with the line of text in, just so you can see the difference between the two. Right, ladies and gents, so we are in game with the first Panther mod. This mod actually has 4 missions, which I highly recommend. I believe it's still on the Steam Workshop. I'll put a link down in the description to it. You should really go and play it. It's a lot of fun. It's a good mission pack. So you'll see on the left menu we just have our units menu, and on the right hand side we just have our reinforcements, but we have no cheats mod whatsoever. So now I will try and get away from the action so you can actually hear me. I will go and add the code to the mission file, and we will be back and I'll show you the difference. Right, ladies and gents, so we are back in game, and I have added the code to the mission file. So you'll see on the left we still have our units menu, and on the right we have our reinforcements, but we also down here have cheats mods. So if you press that, it will come up with the menu. You can have your settings, which I would advise you don't touch. I really would advise you don't touch. There is a problem with cheats mod that we're not sure how to solve, which if you change the player number, because the way Men of War works is you can have 9 teams on each mission, and they'll usually set the player, which is you, to team 0 and the enemy to team 1. However, if the cheats aren't working, if nothing's spawning, you can press that to change that number to 1, because sometimes in the custom missions, people set the player, which is you, to team 1 and the enemy to team 2. However, if everything's working, I would advise you don't touch it at all, because it does slightly mess up the AI, and they do go a bit balmy when you change the number. So yeah, I would advise you don't touch that at all unless things aren't working. Obviously, cheats, we have health and armor, infinite ammo, fuel and stamina, aim range, and instant kill. And it's quite interesting the way these work. Obviously, you're at the same with the MP, adding MP. So, if I want to bring in tons of reinforcements and I've run out of MP, then you just do that, and you can add MP to yourself. However, I don't really recommend using it because it's not very helpful, and very few custom missions these days actually have reinforcements anyway. So with the cheats, obviously we've got health and armor, which makes our people absolutely invincible. So I will charge something fast in. Yep, okay, let's charge this in. And send him all the way down here, and theoretically he won't be touched. Theoretically. And there you go. Being absolutely hammered by machine gun fire, and not even a dent. Not even a dent. Now this is majorly OP. So for me, this kind of takes the whole fun out of the game. So if I deactivate it, pretty much run instantly. Now infinite ammo isn't 100% working these days. It doesn't always work. It's the same with the DLC missions. It sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't. I'm not sure what causes it to work, I'm not sure what causes it to not work, but it's just the way it happens. So I usually stay away from using infinite ammo. Obviously fuel and stamina will, if you see a tank's usage, which is their fuel down here, if actually I'd be better using it on a vehicle. If I deactivate this, that will start going down. If I activate it, it won't anymore. Infinite fuel and stamina. And the stamina obviously applies to infantry, so infantry will never get tired from running. The aim range massively increases, like you'll see there. It massively increases the distance that tanks can, well, aim.
Oh, man.
It increases their aim range. So currently here, these tanks aren't able to shoot at anything. But if I activate this aim range, they will be able to target those tanks. And obviously with insta-kill, well, it's just one shot. So if you really want to, you can send in a motorbike with insta-kill and full ammo on and maximum health, and they will just annihilate everyone, or they would if they were alive. Let's send in something else that's just as fast. And let's speed this up a bit. So they will absolutely just murderize everything, and they won't even be touched. So you see, even though they've got machine gun, they've taken out a tank with ease. And if I send them up to this other tank, they will one-shot this tank as well. And obviously they haven't even been touched by a direct tank round, not even scathed by a grenade. And as soon as they light up with a machine gun, they will absolutely demolish the tank. And voila, it's gone. And they don't really survive much. They don't really survive for very long. Now the menu I use the most is obviously the spawn menu. Infantry, you can spawn all your infantry, various people, in singles, or you can do them in full-on squads. Again, this auto-assign thing is just for the players. I wouldn't touch it, if I'm honest. I really wouldn't touch it. Tanks are split into light, which is, well, light tanks, medium, and heavy, and then your BTR, which is kind of like your APCs and your armored personnel carriers, and like your infantry fighting vehicles. So you can have any one. Now obviously, because of the way cheats mods work, even though we're fighting the Russians, we can actually spawn Russian stuff. And they will fight for us for as long as they live. Now obviously, you can just go and spawn really beefy things. So I will get round to the Germans and I'll spawn a couple of elephant tanks, King Tiger, why not, and a Jag Panther. And let's spin them all round. And now they will go and absolutely murderize everything that exists in this entire game. So that's one way you can play the game with cheat mods. Personally, I don't really like playing it that way because it takes the fun out of it for me. Next thing we've got is artillery, which obviously from the various countries you can spawn various things. Unfortunately, currently there isn't a way. Let's just get rid of all these guys so we have some peace and quiet without the tanks firing. Unfortunately, there isn't a way to currently reload the artillery due to the simple fact that in the support menu, if you drop ammo, that will be for infantry, and if you go into the vehicles and BTR menu, you can have this guy that comes along, which is also another ammo vehicle. However, these are all light ammo. The artillery requires heavy ammo, which we currently don't have spawning, but we intend to add to the menu in at a later point. Obviously, aeroplanes I don't use at all because in this game they're next to useless. And our support menu, where you can deploy mines, which again for me are next to useless. Let's see if I can get one of these guys. Oh, these are actually these are anti-vehicle mines, which doesn't help at all in this mission because no one moves. Again, you can drop ammo, deploy any explosions you want, and if something's being really pesterous, then you can get rid of it with a little artillery strike. And voila, they are gone. So that is the gist of Cheats Mod. It's just to basically give you an upper hand in the game if you think you're struggling, or you want a hand, or you think a mission's too hard, basically. Other than that, there isn't really much to the in-game stuff. I also see a lot of people in the workshop comments asking about the third-person crash error they get, which I will go and try and recreate now. Personally, I have never had it, but I've had White Snoop, who is the original creator of the mod, explain to me how to fix it, so I will go and attempt to explain it to you, but there isn't actually a way I can make it happen. So, for the third person error that some people are having, there's two ways to remove it. If you launch a mission with Cheats Mod activated, now I'd recommend doing this with a vanilla mission and not a custom mission. If you launch a mission, you go down to this bottom bar, and where it says third person, you right click it and literally just drag it off and get rid of it. And you can do that with any of them. You just right click it and drag it off and get rid of it, and that should solve your problem. If third person isn't a button, isn't in your quick bar here, then there is another way to remove it. So the alternate way to remove it is to route yourself to this directory, which is Documents, My Games, Men of Royal Assault Squad 2, your profile, then the number, and then you go to Settings, right click, Open With, and Notepad, or Notepad++, whichever. And it should pop up with the window something like this. Now what you want to do is, obviously I don't have it in here because I don't have the third person problem, I've never had the third person problem. but somewhere in here will be a line of text that says third person. So say it was this one, literally swipe across it and get rid of it. Easy, done. If it was that, swipe across, get rid of it. Okay, that's simple. And then press file and save. Obviously I'm not going to do that because I've just deleted things that could actually crash my game. But yeah, that's how you get rid of the third person bug. So ladies and gents, that is it for this video. If you have any further questions, then please do not hesitate to put them down in the comments below this video. Please don't put them on the Steam comment section because it's a lot easier for me to work out what you're hinting at if you leave them down in the comment section of this video. If you do have problems, please don't just say my mod isn't working. That's not helpful at all. We need things like your mod version, your game version, what you're trying to do, what mission you're trying to run, what you've done so far, what has worked, what hasn't worked, all that kind of stuff. The more information you can give us, the easier it is for us to troubleshoot your problem. As always, ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay awesome.